This is advantage, by the way, when you work with Look Designer, that you can create consistent show LUTs between your SDR and HDR workflows, regardless how you work, because their show LUTs are always in scene referred space. And then here I'm again using a Look Designer to output to HDR10, which is Rec.709 and PQ1000. Okay, and then, you know, naturally, because this is like an HDR grade, you know, I am actually kind of lifting it a little bit and making it more contrasty, more saturated. Now, of course, you can't see it here, but I'm going to show you now the CST version of that. This is now me just adapting, you know, this HDR grade to my SDR screen and using standard DaVinci Resolve converter, which goes from Rec.2000 nits to Rec.709. And yes, you can tell like you know, a little bit the highlight is a little strong, but when I look at this grade on my HDR screen, it doesn't really feel like that. It doesn't have such a strong feel. It feels actually, you know, pleasant. So what we did then is we then basically said, okay, great, let's kind of work a little bit on that highlight tonal mapping. So you see what I got here now is this adapter instead of my color space transform. So what this adapter does is says like, okay, great, so this is your input, you know, Rec.2020 PQ1000, you know, I can also go to P3, right? But you know, that's not what my output is. So because this is my SDR here, right? And then it fixed to Rec.709 output. And then as you can tell, like, you know, now this image feels more like a perceptually, at least, you see how the skin feels more like skin, the brightness is adjusted itself, the level of saturation is a little bit closer to what normally you would see on an HDR screen. And now I want to come back to that example that I showed you earlier, where I had you know, a round tripping method. So you see what I had here was basically a SDR to HDR transform, and then I'm trying to show how this particular image is going to look on an HDR screen.